All right. Another thing that I will point out is that the Americans are very good at overthrowing governments, okay? There's something called the Color Revolution Playbook. Color Revolution Playbook. And so what the Americans do is they basically invite young people from different nations to come to America to learn about democracy and to learn about how to organize protest movements, how to overthrow the government in order to promote democracy. The Americans will also finance NGOs in different countries in order to create young movements in the world. The Americans will also control social media in order to galvanize the population and foment unrest. Okay, and we saw this play out most recently in last year, Nepal, when young people overthrew the government. Now, guys, okay, here's the thing. In Nepal, most people don't speak English. They don't read English. So why are these young people holding up signs? Okay, boomer, time's up. Okay? That's in English. Who's it for? Also, okay, boomer, it's an American phrase. Okay? It's an American phrase, not a Nepalese phrase. So, in other words, they're doing this not to have impact locally in Nepal. They're doing this because someone's paying them to do this. You understand? It's being funded by Washington. And Washington is like, okay, well, I'll pay you this amount of money if you give me a slogan. If you hold a slogan so that I can show my boss that this protest is working. Also, guys, here's another sign. We pay, you flex, enough, okay? Another English sign. So again, why are they doing this when the local population don't even speak English? They're doing it for Washington. They're not doing it for their own country. They're doing it for their masters in Washington. All right, does that make sense? All right, and this is very common in the world today, where these protests are being orchestrated by Washington for Washington, as opposed to being organic. This goes in 2010, 2012, you have these Arab Spring protests happen all around the Middle East, okay? To destabilize these governments in the Middle East, and we know that social media, basically Twitter and Facebook, were instrumental in organizing people and promoting unrest in these places. All right? So these are all called color revolutions, or the Color Revolution Playbook. So not only does America have the capacity to strangle a nation's economy and force the population to beg for mercy, Washington, the Americans also have strategies on how to overthrow the government using the local population. Okay? Basically by controlling social media, by organizing young people, paying them to protest, and bribing security services to not intervene. Okay? It's a very successful playbook. They've tried many times and it's worked many times before.